What's going on, guys? My name is Nils Jonassen, and I have the brand new Canik Mete MC9 L and LS. And I wanted to do a video showing you how awesome it is, how good it shoots, how reliable it is, all that usual kind of stuff. And then I was thinking about it, and I'm a competition shooter, right? What better way for me to show you how well a gun performs than to actually compete with it in a local match? So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I'm headed to Tuesday Night Steel, a local match I've shot for over 20 years. And it's actually the first place that I shot my first match ever. And it's at the Rio Salado Sportsman's Club in Mesa. So I'm on my way to Tuesday Night Steel. I'm going to be shooting the Mete MC9 LS, and the LS is the longer slide version of the L variant of the Mete MC9. So what even are the differences between the original Canik Mete MC9 and the new L and LS? Well, the big thing is grip size. Not only that, but the texture on the grip is modified as well. So we've got a much more substantial grip to get a full purchase on that pistol, even for people like me with larger hands. And that comes in huge when you're trying to control the gun and run sustained courses of fire without having to re-grip the pistol over and over and over. Because these are small guns, and 9mm in that small package feels like it's got a bit of recoil. So extra grip panel, or extra grip to hold onto, is huge. So that is first and foremost the biggest difference between the original Canik MC9 and the new L and LS variants. Another thing you're going to notice with these guys is the beaver tail on the L and LS is kind of like an extended beaver tail. And that's just pulling your hand a little bit further away. So if you're gripping that gun super high, there's no chance this thing gives you any kind of slide bite or nicks your hand or does anything that would impede your ability to shoot it fast and accurately. So the trigger is going to be the same as the regular MC9, so your standard Canik trigger. Very predictable break, nice predictable wall, fast reset. It's going to break between right around 4 pounds, I think these are at. I could be wrong. This isn't a video about technical specs on these guns. This is a video to show you an actual scenario or an actual, just somebody shooting the guns, right? So you also have a more pronounced flare on the bottom of the grip as like a magwell. So it's going to be a lot easier to insert those magazines. You're not going to have issues with it being a longer grip, issues with the magazine's binding. So in some of these smaller guns, you'll press the magazine release and your hand's essentially hanging off the bottom of the grip, contacting the magazine, and that has a tendency to hold the magazine in the grip, not drop free, slows down reloads, makes everything suboptimal. So with a slightly longer grip, you get a whole hand on the grip itself, not hanging off below. So now you're not contacting that magazine, so when you want it to drop free, it does. I only have 2 magazine pouches and the holster. The holster that comes with it is a reversible inside or outside the waistband holster. I'm actually using a holster that I have from my Canik Rival pistol, and it's an outside the waistband only, and I have the tension on it tightened all the way down. And it's still technically too wide for this small a gun, because this MC9 L and LS, they're very thin guns. However, for the purposes today, it'll work out nicely. The 2 magazine pouches are from FPS Holsters. John McClain, buddy of mine, made these guys. They work awesome. I only have 2 of them with me, so I'm hoping that doesn't bite me in the butt. So I'll have 1 in the gun, I'll have 2 in my body, and that's it. So running production with 15 rounds, 15, 15, 15, so I'm looking at a total round count of 45 plus 1 So hopefully that's enough for each stage at Tuesday Night Steel. Fingers crossed. I figured today, why not have some fun and give you guys a little bit of a show and just kind of see what's going on with the new concealed carry micro compact from Canik. Let's go.
Make ready.
Like every Monday night.
Are you saying it's the girls?
What's the hand position?
Boys?
Yeah.
It's below belt, they said. Stand by. If you are finished to unload, you've cleared him down, holster. Ready?
Tuesday Night Steel had 4 stages. I started on stage 1, and it was an unloaded table start. And you go to the left, you've got your, it's a pretty simple stage, but ultimately you've got 4 boxes. The extreme left box, you had your array in front of you. Then the same thing for the next box. In between those 2 boxes in the center, you had 4 poppers, so reactive steel that falls down. And then on the right side, you had another 2 boxes. Essentially, you had to repeat the same shot pattern. And my initial load went fine. I think my first shot missed the target completely, but I pulled it together after that. And then I've only got 15 rounds in my magazines, so my plan was to split the poppers right in the middle. So, and realistically, my plan was to run the gun dry and initiate my load. If that meant hitting 2 poppers, hitting 3 poppers, whatever that meant. I ended up with that 1 extra shot at the start, had enough for 2 poppers, so I split them right down the center, did my reload, and the remaining 2 poppers, and finished out the stage. So managed to do it with just the 1 reload and the initial load off the start, and pretty good stage. I was happy with it, especially being my first run with the compact carry gun. Like, I was pretty happy.
And these guys bring the new chimney truck. Bye!
Get us to come.
That front plate's a little heavy there. Stage 2 started off with a plate rack, and plate rack went awesome. Draw was decent. The 2 center boxes, you had your static plates, which is pretty straightforward, no big deal. But I only have 15 plus 1, so I had to reload after that second box, and then I had the third box along with the inline plate rack. I think they call it a ducks in a row plate rack or whatever. And the shooting on that was totally fine. I was happy with it. When I got to the ducks in the row plate rack, my first shot, since it's a shorter barrel than my competition gun, the round didn't have enough energy to knock down that heaviest plate. I must have hit it a little bit low. So it actually came back and never fell down. So I had to double the first plate to get it out of the way and then go to work on the remaining 5 plates. So it was a little bit of an experience, a little surprise to me, but it worked out fine. Had just enough ammo to finish that array. So stage 2 also went pretty well.
Are you ready? Stand by. This squad is so
Steve,
set
huh?
Steve looks for that.
Steve, I'll tell you, he's a sharp cookie.
Stand by.
Oh no! I need that!
If you are finished, unload. Clear, hammer down. Clear!
Stage 3 started out with arguably one of the harder targets at Tuesday Night Steel, which is a Texas Star. And it's just a rotating star with 5 plates. And so the first box, draw, plate, 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 plate. Reload out of there because, you know, in case I have extra shots in the middle position, I wanted to have ammo in the gun ready to go rather than having to do a standing reload perhaps. So I shoot the 5 1 for 1, do my reload, and then I've got a popper, 2 on the square, 2 on the square, popper, which I had a couple of extra shots on, and then transition left, big popper, small popper, big popper. And then since I had those makeups on that far right popper, I decided to do another reload out of that middle position. Even though I didn't have to, in my mind, I was now short on ammo because of all those extra shots. So reloading to my last magazine, ejection went totally fine. Insertion, not so much. So I ended up yeeting the magazine forward about 2 yards, and I kicked it accidentally, so I had to go run, scramble, and retrieve that, and then finish the reload, and then bing, bing, bing to finish out from that last position. So stage 3 didn't go that great, but yeah, it was. I was kind of laughing at myself through that whole thing because it went from really good to kind of average in that middle position just because of those makeups on the right to a totally botched reload. My fault, not the guns. And then retrieving that magazine because it's the only magazine I had on me, right? So it was pretty fun. I shot decent on that stage, but obviously could have been better.
He dropped it into the bag a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago. Calmed down.
Hammer down, holster. Clear.
Stage 4 was the tightest round count just because of the number of rounds from each position. So you had 3 targets from your first box, 4 targets from your second box, and each of those requiring 2 hits. So you got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 reload, and then essentially the same thing, 6 from the back, another 8 from that front, from the right side. So I've got 14 reload 14 with a 15+1 capacity pistol. That's not great. And the first position was solid, the second position was solid, do my reload, no problem. The first target, I think, maybe somewhere in that array after that reload, I have 1 makeup shot. I'm like, that's okay, still fine. Go to the next position. On the first array in that next position, I have 1 makeup shot. I'm like, it's okay, I still have just enough rounds to finish this stage. So I finished that array, bang, 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 come over to the last target, bang, let the gun settle, and for whatever reason, I sent that last shot, the last bullet that I had in my gun, right over the top of the plate. And it's not that hard a shot, folks. It's about probably a 12-inch plate at no farther than 15 yards, maybe 16 yards. Not that hard. Right over the top of it, right? Sail. Reload, rack the slide, bing. To finish out my match. So, stage 4, also not that great. Had a ton of fun. If you ever think about running your concealed carry gun at a competition, I highly recommend doing so. I had a blast. It really gives you an idea of how the gun acts when you're under a little bit of pressure, where all you're thinking about is speed and accuracy. You're not thinking about gun manipulations. You're not thinking about any of this other BS. You're just trying to be fast and accurate. Will your gun allow you to do that? And I'm happy to say and happy to report that the Canik MC9L, or at least the LS, will absolutely perform in a match condition. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. My name is Nils Jonassen. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, awesome, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on the range. Peace. I'm a high performance athlete. Athlete sweat. Sweat, sweat. Ski, ski. Sweat.